All right, everyone. So welcome to our session for today. So this is the first session we're having in 2026, and it's definitely going to be brilliant. It's going to be helpful to you if you pay attention to what we are going to be sharing. So in 2026, right, the truth is that if you don't do anything different, you're not going to have any different results. So it's very important that we understand the money insights that we need to upgrade. What are those key areas about money that we really need to upgrade if you want to make more money in 2026 and beyond? For anyone who is really interested and you're asking question of, oh, okay, how do I make more money this year, right? What do I need to do? How do I put my thoughts together to be able to make more money this year? Then this is definitely a class for you. So I'm glad that you guys are here. Thank you for joining. And for those of you who are watching online, you're welcome. I definitely know that you're going to learn something. Money is always a function of thoughts. Very, very important. It's always a function of thought, and that's why we are talking about insight. What you don't know about money is more important and more dangerous than what you know, because the difference between what you have now and what you could have that you don't yet have is what you know. So it should be your business to constantly be on the lookout on how you can upgrade your insights, to upgrade what you know, right, so as to better position yourself to be in a place where you can make more money. First insight upgrade you need to do is the first insight upgrade you need to do is how you think and believe, right? How you think and believe about money, about abundance, about prosperity, about people that have money, and everything that has to do with money. The truth is that when you dislike someone who has something that you don't yet have, what you're doing is to tell your subconscious that what a person has is bad. So you having it will make you look bad and people will dislike you. And because of the fact that naturally we don't like people disliking us, because as social animals that we are, we always love people to like us, right? To agree with us. We like our community, people around us to agree with us. It simply means that when you begin to believe that people who have money have done something wrong, or that they are cheating people, or that they don't deserve the money, or whatever it is that might be the case, you are simply telling your subconscious to sabotage you. You're simply enabling your subconscious to sabotage you, because you can't have what you hate. You can't have what you despise. So you need to begin to refine the way you think. When it comes to money, do not entertain any form of negative thoughts, right? Now, that does not mean that negative thoughts will not come to you. Negative thoughts will come, but the point is always have tools around you that can help you to override the negative thoughts. Be in that place where more of your thoughts about money in this year and beyond is positive. It's always hinged on possibilities. It's always hinged on what could be instead of what can be or what hasn't been, right? Then the other one is believe. What you believe is more important than what you do, because the truth is that everything you have in your life right now is a manifestation of your belief, not your actions. The things that you could do that you have not done is a function of your belief, and your belief is a function of your programming. So you cannot better behave when your belief system is bad. Your behavior will always be in sync with your belief. So what you need to do is to begin to ask yourself questions like, what exactly are those things that I believe about money? That is how you can improve your money psychology, by the way. Then when you see those things, you begin to ask yourself, how did I get this belief? Who gave it to me? At what point in my life was it passed on to me, right? Then you begin to ask yourself, how exactly has this belief helped me or stopped me? Because most of the things we believe are actually stopping us from making financial progress instead of helping us to make financial progress. So if you believe that money is scarce or that money is hard to come by, that is a belief system that probably a thought that must have been planted in your subconscious by someone you love, probably your parents or someone that has authority over you, and you have always believed that. And because of that, you're just living a life where you're okay to get by, because subconsciously, deep down, you believe that this thing is hard, this thing is not for people like me. Right? You need to do a deep dive to ask yourself, what are the beliefs that I have about money, and how do I begin to upgrade them to something that works? You can't believe that money is hard to come by and you can't believe that money is hard to come by and do things that will give you speed and ease in making money. So for example, when you want to grow your money, right? When you want to grow your money, you invest your money actually. And one of the things that happens when you put your money in an asset is that you use leveraged vehicles to increase your propensity to expand your wealth. Now, leverage makes making money easier. Now, if you believe that making money is hard, you will not find yourself successfully using leverage to make money, because you believe somehow you will self-sabotage yourself, because leverage will simply hand you off the opportunity of working on the money and then make the money work to give you money. So you need to ask yourself, what are the beliefs I have about money? What are the beliefs I have about people with money? What are the beliefs I have about myself and money? Because that is also very key. You believe you have about yourself and money is important. If you believe that people like you don't make it financially, then there is definitely no way you're going to win, right? This is the first upgrade. The second upgrade is to think of ways that are moral, ethical, right? Ways that are moral. You need to think of more ways that are ethical and moral to make more money. So the question is, what are the other things that you can do that you have not done before to make more money? Can you go into sales? Can you leave your job and go somewhere else? Can you start your own business? Can you close down your business and get a good job? Because the truth is that there are different pathways to wealth. And one of the pathways is employment, while another one is business. You need to find out the pathway that is most available for you, which also supports your personality, so that you can leverage on that to be able to make money for yourself and then learn how to make that money work for you. Because the truth is that the most important thing is for you to make money. So whether you're making the money from your business, whether you're making the money from investing, whether you're making the money from wherever you're making the money that is legal and ethical, you need to ask yourself, what are the more ways that I can use to make more money? Can I launch new products? Can I launch more products? Can I go into new industry? Can I break away from, whatever it is that I've been doing before? This is how I changed my own life. I moved away from what I was doing and went into sales. And not just any sales, because I've always been a salesperson, right? But I went into real estate sales. And I must let you know that immediately I took my skill from selling the other kind of things I was selling before and moved into real estate. My income shifted significantly. The money I've made selling real estate, right, can be compared to the money I've made selling other things and doing other things. And it came from a function of the fact that I woke up one year at the beginning of the year and I said, how do I take all that I know now, all that I'm doing now, and put it in another industry that can help shift my income? That singular question helped me to move from what I was doing and move into real estate. And the progress has been significant. Right? Real estate happened to be the first high ticket product that I started selling in my life. And apart from the fact that it made me a lot of money, it also made me better in learning how to sell to people that have money, in learning how to become a better closer, and making people really take action in, buying things that are highly expensive. So you need to ask yourself that question. So this insight will help you to ask yourself, who do I need to meet? Because when I wanted to move into real estate sales, I knew I didn't have the capacity, I didn't have the skill, I needed the mental upgrade. So I got a mentor. I got a mentor who made his first $1 million as a salesman in real estate. I got him to mentor me, and he mentored me, and within 6 months of his mentorship, I sold my first big deal. The reason why you're not making a lot of money is not because of the fact that you're not doing enough. Probably you're stuck in a place where the capacity to make more money is very thin, or not there. That's why I tell people to go into what I call buoyant industries. It is not all the industries are not the same. There are some industries that produce more millionaires than other industries. So for your economy, for your country, your location, you need to find out what this is. You need to find out what this means and make that transition, because it is very, very important. Then the third insight upgrade that you need, is number 3, how do I keep more of all the money I make this year? Right? How do I keep more of all the money that I make this year? Because some persons are not growing financially, not because they are not making money. They are not growing because they can't keep more of what they make. The more they make, the more they spend. The more they make, the more their lifestyle becomes more expensive, the more they upgrade lifestyle. And because of the consistent lifestyle upgrade, they experience lifestyle creep. And lifestyle creep is something that will make you to keep earning and keep spending it all. And at the end of the day, you find out that you're up there, but you have to keep hustling. You have to keep struggling to make more money just to be able to keep yourself up there. That's a very dangerous way to live life, right? So you need to begin to ask yourself the question of, what do I need? What weight do I need to shed right now? Who are the people that are costing me money that I need to take out of my life? What are the things that are costing me money that I need to change, that I need to remove from my space? Right? What are the environment that are making my life more expensive that I need to evaluate, reevaluate, audit out, and all of that? Because you have to do something different to be able to get a different result. Like they say, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again while expecting a different result. There is no way you're going to get a different result if you keep doing what you have always done. So if you want 2026 and beyond to be different for you, then you need to begin to ask yourself, how this more money that I need to make, how am I going to keep it? How am I going to keep more of it? right? How am I going to keep 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%, and even 80% of the money, right? Because what can help you to make progress is not a function of what you make. What can help you to make financial progress is not a function of what you make, it's a function of what you keep out of what you make. So while a lot of people are struggling to make more money, people who have discipline in keeping more of what they already make will make more progress. Why? Because as you're struggling to make more money, they are keeping more of what they are making and employing that which they are making to make more for them. Because while you're trying to make more money will always hinge on your ability to hustle, right? Your ability to employ yourself. Your ability to grow your money will be a function of what you're able to keep out of what you make. And in that instance, your money begins to work for you. And the ultimate goal for anyone who is looking at financial expansion is for you to be in that place where you are able to keep more of what you make. Keeping more of what you make is going to give you speed, is going to give you growth. In fact, how you make money is by selling. But how you grow money and become wealthier is by keeping more of what you make and learning how to multiply that which you keep. And that brings us to the fourth insight, right? That brings us to the fourth insight. The fourth insight is to ask yourself, how do I grow? Right? Fourth insight, how to grow. How do I grow more of what I keep? That's a very important question, right? How do I grow more of what I keep? How to grow more of what I keep is a question of investing. It's a question of asking yourself, what are the asset classes that I can begin to take advantage of? Right? What are the investments that I can begin to learn about? What are the places where I can begin to put more of my money? Because that is the only way you grow money. You don't grow money by making more money. You grow money by employing what you keep to make more money for you. Because that is more efficient, right? That is more efficient, because trying to grow more money by making more money simply means that you have to sweat more, you have to use more of your time. But trying to grow money simply means that you have to employ the money that you make. That's why I say that every human being has to become a very good employer, right? You must become a very good employer. Everybody must be a very good employer. And what are you employing? You're not necessarily employing human beings, you are employing your money. So you must become great at figuring out the most efficient way to employ your money so that your money works harder than you can ever work. Because that is how you now talk about financial freedom. That your money is employed in different places, working very hard for you, right? And that is crucial. So you need to begin to ask yourself the question of, how do I grow this thing? Where do I employ my money? And I always advise that when you want to answer that question, there are three places you need to look at very quickly, right? There are three places you need to look at very quickly. Number one is business. Okay, business. So business could be, what business can I start? Right? What business can I start? And when you talk about starting a business does not mean employing 100 people, renting offices all over the place. No, that's not it. Starting a business simply means finding a way through which you can deliver value to people in a structured way, right? Finding a structured way to deliver value to people. That's simply what a business is all about. Your business is about incorporating the business, putting a legal system and structure behind it, putting a system behind whatever idea you have, and finding a way to push it to people, right? As a separate entity from you. That's what a business is. So if you run an agency, you could be working in a company and you have an agency. And let's assume that you're a marketing person, right? You're a marketing guy. You're working with the company and you help them to buy ads. Okay, that's your job. That's what you're paid for. You can also start a business. Now, as you're working with this company, you have a lot of experiences. You have a lot of things you're learning that you have learned over the years, right? Fine. So what you can do is to start an agency. You can just register a business, incorporate a business, right? Put one person there, right? Do your business stuff, get your business registered on Google, and do all of those things. Have your business card and all of that. What you're doing exactly is trying to sell your experience, your skills, and your expertise in media buying to other people who will need the solution, right? So imagine you have, at the end of the year, you're able to get 10 different clients who you help to also buy ads. It simply means that you now have 11 sources of income, right? You have 2 streams of income with 11 sources. The first stream of income is your job. The second stream of income is your business. While your job gives you one stream of income, right? Your business gives you 11 streams of income through 10 streams of income through the 10 clients you have. If at the end of the year you're able to get 5 people, right, in your business to patronize your business or to become, retainer clients in your business, you now have 6 streams of income. So one stream of income from your major source of income, your first source of income, which is your job, then 5 streams of income from your second source of income, which is your business. The next thing you need to look at is equity. right? Equity investing. Equity talks about taking a stake in a business, and this equity investing could be public or private. So you could learn how to buy shares, publicly quoted companies in the stock market, right? Of course, as a Nigerian, you can buy stocks now of American companies and all of that using all those apps and all those things that are available, right? But beyond that, you can also partner with individuals. So a friend of yours who is trustworthy, someone you vetted, right, is trying to run a business or has been running a business and is looking for expansion. You can invest in that business. That is equity stake. You can invest in that business for an equity stake. Right, just make sure you do it right, get a lawyer, do your documentation properly, do your vetting and all of that. That's part of what we do for clients. So in case you're interested in investing in private businesses, you can talk to us, you can send a message, and we'll work with you to help you make the best decision so that you don't put your money in the wrong place, right? Then, so that's equity for you. It could be public, it could be private. Then the third one is real estate. Okay, real estate. I say this, if you don't want to master any other asset class in your life, master these three, right? If you now feel like you're not interested in mastering more than one, master real estate. I am biased towards real estate because I have seen what real estate can do in a person's life, right? I remember when I was growing up, I didn't grow up in a very I came from a very poor background, right? But there was something that made it possible for us not to sleep in the street. It was because of the fact that my great grandmother was a very interesting woman who invested in a lot of real estate. So the house where I grew up in, was our own house. We had about 11 lockup stores and about two houses in the compound. So we had our own house, and we were able to rent out the 2 houses in the compound and the 11 lockup stores. That was what helped us to make money. And it was also because of that I had the privilege of living in an environment where I saw people who had money. So I lived in an environment where rich people were close by. Then it made me to begin to ask a question: why is it that these guys have these things and we don't? Why is it that these guys are living this way and we are not? What is it that they know that we don't know? And that was what put me on this journey that I've been on my life, right? So real estate is very important. Real estate has so many ways it can improve and change your life. I would still do a lot of mini workshops to educate you guys on real estate. Okay, so it's very important that you become a student of these 3 assets. These 3 assets are key in answering the question of how do I grow my money. If you're able to put yourself in all these 3 assets or in one of these 3 assets in 2026 and beyond, you'll find out that you'll be able to grow your money. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful to you. For those of you who are watching online, if you want to learn more, you can join our School of Money and Investment. So you can send a message to the number on your screen so that we can give you all the necessary details that you need to come on board, and definitely it's going to change your life. So guys, I will wait for your questions so that we can continue to the next one.